Good morning. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Woodstock. We're so grateful that you are here, that you are providing your presence in person and online. We're so blessed to have you. My name is Reverend Marypatriece Wendt. I'm the spiritual leader here.
And I'm Reverend Tom Wendt. It is a joy to be here with you on this beautiful Sunday morning.
It's a gorgeous Sunday. We had to break out some of the warmer or the cooler clothes for the day. So I'm excited. This is a beautiful, the trees are in bloom, the tulips, the daffodils, all of that is showing up and just part of that life experience, which we'll be talking a little bit more about.
One presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, the good omnipotence. The Christ Spirit lives within me. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. I experience God's presence and power through prayer and meditation. I put my faith into action by demonstration.
Unity is a belief system that believes in being more spiritual than religious. This means that the Christ presence is already within you. You were born with it. You were created from it. And that it is a guidance system that is already moving through you. Unity also respects all religions and does not discourage in any practice that supports your highest expression. Nor do we also say you have to share a certain ritual or you have to do a certain prayer. It is part of you that guides you, and we support that journey. So we know that your divine nature is intact and ready to go, that it will show you the way, your way. And that is what it's all about, and we just support you along that journey with ideas and tools that might be helpful to you.
You are an individual expression of God, and we let you be that, right?
I agree. We're going to take a moment now. It's a special time in our service where we receive your gifts and offerings. If you're in the sanctuary, please take out your gift, hold it in your hands. If you're at home, please hold the idea in the mind of the amount that you'd like to give, and you can go right to our unitywoodstock.org website, or you'll find the link below. Let's take a moment to invite you to hold your gift in your hands as we affirm our tithes and unity prayer offering prayer. Together, please.
Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive.
And so it is. Amen. And if you happen to be in the sanctuary, please find the basket at the end of the aisle there, ready for your gift when you're ready, when you pass by on your way out of the sanctuary. I'd also want to say we're finding a lot of gratitude in being able to come to you so amazingly, I can't speak today, through our tech team who is on the job and making this the best experience that you can have. We have Joe Joswiak, we have George Muligano, Kim Joswiak, and we have Carol Hubner on the team this morning. Thank you so much.
Our team is growing.
It is growing and expanding as people become involved. They're part of the experience and the expression.
It's taking a village.
It is taking a village. And we have our own musical expression today
yes, we
in
do.
Lori Gray Muligano. Thank you so much. Our music leader extraordinaire who is going to grace you with that gift right now.
This song is called To the Light. I've heard it said, the earth looks peaceful when it's seen from outer space. Such a pretty place for you and me. How do we hear the wisdom of the crickets in the night, singing out of sight from way down here, where there's always right or wrong. Why can't we just get along? I've heard it said, there's 100 billion galaxies of light, lighting up the night for you and me. We could be just as peaceful as the earth from outer space, living in a place of harmony. Harmony could be such a joyful sound. Why do we just put each other down? Just consider that there is no wrong or right, and consider that there is no black or white. There are only shades of gray to help us on our way to the light. To the light. I've heard it said, every culture has a history in stone, dances of their own they like to do. Wouldn't you like to be accepted just the way you are? Isn't that so hard to see? Now couldn't we find a way to understand and blow away that line in the sand? Ooh. So just consider that there is no wrong or right, and consider that there is no black or white. There are only shades of gray to help us on our way to the light. To the light. To the light. To the light. I've heard it said, the earth looks peaceful when it's seen from outer space. Such a pretty place for you and me. So let's take in a few deep, relaxing breaths. As we start our day, let's do that with love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's That's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love.
Once again, good morning, dear friends, as we join in this time of guided meditation. This is your time to simply be with the calm, quiet, peaceful presence at your very core. We call it the Christ within. This is our time to commune with life, pure and simple life. The gift of breath and the gift of our heartbeat and feeling and emotions. Just be with all of it right now. I invite us to reflect on the simplest sounds that life will bring us and the simplest experience that we love to hear. Perhaps it is the sound of corn popping. Perhaps the smell of coffee being brewed. Today, let us be mindful of these very simple gifts that life brings us. Today, as we exit this beautiful sanctuary and head out into the community, be aware of the sounds you hear. The wind, other people, maybe a motorcycle in the distance, traffic. Wherever we are, we hear and see the reminders of life, simple life. Be aware of your own breath right now. Be aware of the quiet tones of the piano, of the keyboard that Lori supports this time with. Sights and sound of life. So simple. And what a treasure. As you move through your day today, be aware of the colors of spring. The greens and the golds and the yellows and the reds. This is life talking back to us. The sounds and sights we love are the simplest ones that remind us of life. Sometime today we may hear laughter from ourselves or someone near us or someone in the distance. Heads tilting back and laughing, part of a friendly conversation. The sights and sounds of life. What a gift. What an amazing gift. Wherever you are, listen quietly for background sounds. What do you hear? I seem to hear some sort of fan running or something like that. The sounds of life. The sound of someone I love saying, I love you. The sound of my voice saying, I love you. The sound of your pet. So much today to be grateful for and alive with in life. This is life. The everyday sights and sounds that are there for our viewing for free, just because we're alive. What will you hear today? Whatever it is, appreciate it. For it is life speaking back to you, saying, yes, I'm all around you. Participate. Participate. We may hear the sound of tears. That is life too. And no more or less valuable than all of the other sounds. Today we are free to participate in all of life, simple as it is, and be grateful for that gift. And as we bring our attention back to this time and place, we open our eyes and perhaps wiggle our fingers and wiggle our toes. Be aware of what you see. Be aware of the wonderful souls, if you are with others with whom you share your space. That is life talking back to you. Thank you, life. Thank you for speaking so clearly as to what a gift you are. And in the name and in the nature of the living Christ, we know it is so, and we say amen.
So we are going to be presenting a series of talks today, starting off on the 12 powers. Now, the 12 powers, if you don't know about unity, the 12 powers is something that was introduced by Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity. And what it is meant to do is to identify the characteristics or the faculties that we each have that make up our spiritual selves. The idea is to really look at each of these faculties and find out, are we fully expressing that? And if we are, then we are in our space of being in the Christ consciousness that is already inside. And if we're not, it gives us the opportunity to come into awareness of that and to see how we can become more in alignment with it. So today we're talking about life,
We are one of the 12 powers.
one of the 12 powers. And our book is about living without bookends. As you can see, I have some bookends here. And what are bookends for? Well, they're great about supporting the things that are in between them. They give them structure, it helps define the space, maybe even keeps them in space, in a certain place, designated place. They're pretty handy for keeping things organized in my mind sometimes, although mine aren't always organized. But they hold what's between them. They provide a beginning place and an ending place. And they hold that together. So I wonder if we think about that in a metaphysical way, which we often do in Unity, do we live with bookends in our lives? Is there something that defines a beginning for us and an ending for us? You know, I remember many talks in the past where a minister might talk about, okay, your birth date and your end of life date, and everything in between is life. But that's not what Unity teaches. Life happened or was a part or living before that birthday and will continue beyond that end day to this existence. So how do we live without bookends? Andrew Solomon writes stories and does talks about the hardships of other people. So our bookends may not just be our birth date and the last day that we breathe. It could be an event in our life that defines a beginning when it started and an ending. And he spent time talking with people who've gone through some significant challenges in their lives, to look and explore to find out, did they create bookends around that event? Did they get stuck there and find that, you know, they're pretty comfortable, this is pretty steady and comfortable where it is? But what he found most often was that wasn't the case. Oftentimes we're looking for the meaning in life, and he says, no, don't look for the meaning of life. Forge the meaning of life. You choose what an event means to you. You choose how it's going to shape your experience and expression. You choose how it defines you. He states that those moments in our lives where we are either avoiding or enduring something are the moments where we are actually forging something. We're forging a meaning around that. We're forging a path forward from that event and what it's going to mean for us. And if we allow it to change us, if we allow that forging process to change who we are, we can allow it to create our identity. And as we create that identity from what we've been in and through, we can change the world. He interviewed a woman who had been, when she was a young girl, had been raped. It changed her world. She ended up becoming pregnant, had the baby, kept the baby. It changed her whole plan of going to school, to college. Everything changed. And he asked her, how do you feel? Do you think about this person now? What does that look like for you? And she said she really felt pity for him. And he thought, well, okay, maybe she's thinking about where he came from, what his story is. And she said, no. I feel pity for him because he has no idea that he has a beautiful daughter and 2 beautiful grandchildren. Because at this point, she was 50. So she chose to forge a new meaning of that experience, one that blessed her. Andrew Solomon also shared his own story about growing up and not being accepted, being bullied, being the only student in the 2nd grade class not to get a birthday invitation to one of his classmates' parties. Being made fun of in middle school for sitting with the girls and being told when he sat with the boys he should be sitting with the girls. Being given many messages throughout his life that he wasn't someone that fit in. And his story, he shared his story that coming into being an adult, he chose to honor who he was. He chose to get married to his husband, of someone he'd been with for 6 years. He chose to be a father. A gift that he says is unique to someone in his circumstance. Special and unusual and so fresh in the way that it can't be in other ways. And he's had many friends who are heterosexual that had wonderful families and experiences. But he defined one moment in particular, his 50th birthday, where his son insisted that he should give a toast to his dad on his birthday. And so they were like, no, Grandpa and Uncle Joe is going to come and they're going to give, the adults will give the toast. And he's like, nope, and he would not let it go. So they put him up on a table, gave him a microphone, and he said, ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. And they're like, what's this 4-year-old going to say? He said, I am so glad it's Daddy's birthday. I am so glad that we get to eat cake. And Daddy, if you were little, I would be your friend. I am a life being.
Wow, what a story. And what great examples of circumstances and experiences don't create who we are, what we do with them does. What a great examples, thank you. Well, for me, pardon me, I believe we're all students here, students of life, seeking our PhD. And I don't know about you, but I'm not sure I'm going to graduate from preschool. There is so much to learn from teachers of every ilk you can imagine, providing me at least with opportunities if only I could hear them. Religious science minister Bob Luckins says, as I grow older, my challenge is to avoid turning my experiences into a resume that I believe in more than my life's potential. I think he's referring to bookending our lives by means of what has happened to us, something that these individuals you just described didn't do. He says we have a choice to use our experience to limit us or maybe do a lessons learned and grow through them. No matter what. And I find when I'm able to avoid being seduced by my past, I live in a world of possibilities. In the book, Your 12 Gifts from God by William Warch, he says, life is progress, attainment, and mastery. As life flows through you, you will feel you need to progress. It is our nature to grow, hence that desire for our PhD in life. Pardon me. You cannot stay at one level and remain content for any length of time. The Christ in you, the powers of the Christ in you, the 12 powers we talk about and so much more, are urging us, I believe, to move forward, always. Whatever life is, living it small seems contrary to its meaning, in my view. And it is not the challenge or opportunity that makes us grow, as Marypatriece so clearly said. It is your willingness to rely on Spirit, to act as a willing channel that lifts you from one level of consciousness to another. Trusting your soul, trusting your gut. There's a Thornton Wilder play called Our Town, where the character Emily has passed on to the next realm. She is given the opportunity to relive one day of her life. So she picks her 12th birthday. And from the higher realm, she views her life as she was at 12 years of age. She comes down the stairs of the house where she was raised, and all her family is doing what they do in the morning. The kids are playing, and their father's reading the paper, and her mom is cooking. And there's the smell of coffee and the sound of toast being buttered. She hears laughter, and she sees the flowers in the yard. The sun is shining through the window. It's a little bit misty out, and she sees all that is happening around her. And she says, "Oh, life! Does anyone ever really know how wonderful you are while they are living it?"
That's a good question. One I think I need to think more about. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, it says, "The Lord God formed the man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And the man became a living being." Man not only became a living being, but also a life being. That life force within being an expression here and now. I think I've had a few hardships in my life. Have you?
A couple.
Couple, maybe? Has anyone else here, maybe?
They're in unity, they must have.
Maybe it was a difficult divorce. Maybe it was a rejection by a potential employer, a death of a loved one, substance abuse, prejudice. Perhaps it was a medical diagnosis. How do I keep from creating bookends around these events? From seeing them as limiting my potential? How do I keep myself from creating the beginning of that event and saying, okay, it stops here, and only having that set of books to refer to? By forging meaning, creating the experience of it from here. Andrew Solomon states, those times that you're avoiding or maybe enduring, those are the moments you're forging. You get to forge what the meaning is for you, for your life, for how you want to move forward, the potential of what you can bring to the future, the potential of what you can bring to now. He reminds us to look for the seed in the difficulty and live out loud, experiencing tolerance not only for other people, but for yourself. What is a good life? Is a good life being challenge-free? I don't think so. I've found so much of my potential through the challenges that have presented themselves over the years. Is it having what I need? Doing what I love? Being in an environment that understands me and loves me and I the same? Maybe it's opportunities to grow. I think about a good life is a life where I act from that sense of rightness. I act from that moment, of that feeling of being in alignment with who I am. A good life is being self-aware and other-aware. Sean Ecker, who's a writer, researcher, and speaker, he says 90% of our happiness is determined by how we interpret the events of our lives. I am a life being.
I love that phrase. 90% of happiness is determined by how your mind processes events. Oh my goodness, it's like I have control over my happiness. Wow. Well, our master teacher, Jesus of Nazareth, described life as the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom is right here and right now. His parables describe the kingdom as being full of the normal activities of life that we experience every day. A man sowing seed, a woman baking bread, a son wanting to go off on his own, a man finding treasure in a field, healing, and so much more. The kingdom of heaven is the life we live today, not some evacuation plan to go to the next world. Heaven is here and now because life is here now. And what does all that mean? Perhaps some of you know, I don't have a clue. I just know I need to live my life as fully as I possibly can. Now, I have on my desk several books, kept neatly in a row by Bookends. Now, they are sitting on a desk that sometimes doesn't know anything about neatness. Well, at least my books are neat, and I'm happy. Sometimes I try to bookend my life. I mean, I plan. I keep spreadsheets on almost everything. Yeah. I schedule. I exercise. I try to eat right. My life is neat. And then, all of a sudden, a guy in a dump truck dumps 13 yards of mulch on our driveway that we order. But it is the wrong color. I mean, way the wrong color. Like if you ordered this lectern to be black and it came out chartreuse. It was that wrong. And then I freeze, and then I become upset, and then make the mulch company's problem my problem, and on and on. And my bookends, they just collapsed, and so did the books. All my neatness is gone. So I would compare that incident to saying that the kingdom of heaven is like a hurricane. But even in the middle of a hurricane, the bottom of the sea is calm. It doesn't know what's going on up there. It doesn't care. As the storm rages and the winds howl and the floods occur, the deep waters just kind of sway a little bit, and the plants and the fish move along with them. That's all. And there's stillness. Below, there is no storm. And when the wind subsides up above, the calmness from below rises up to the surface. And the sea is again calm. I think such is life when lived from the kingdom of heaven. There is a depth to each of us that is unfettered by circumstance, that is always true and consistent with our spiritual nature, a calmness. It's just pure spirit. And when living from that deepest part of our soul, from our consciousness, then when asked the question, oh, life, does anyone ever really know how wonderful you are while they're living it? We can respond, oh yes, I am living and loving it. That's spirit. That spirit which is the core of our being, God in us, is the life energy that keeps our life normal, not the bookends I sometimes rely upon.
In closing, life is going to bring us challenges. Bookends may seem to organize what is important to us. God is in us, as us, the life energy that keeps our lives orderly even when it doesn't appear to be so on the outside. That calm you talked about in the depths.
It's there.
But our bookends may provide us a sense of support. We may choose to use them at times. And if we must use them at all, may they be expandable so that we can forge the meaning to our lives. I am a life being, and so it is. Namaste.
I love with the heart of God within me. I sing with the voice of God within me. I rest in the peace of God within me. Everything praises God within me. I know with the mind of God within me. I pray with the faith of God within me. I trust with the power of God within me. Everything praises God within me. I am a safe and loving place, born of beauty joy of God within me. I shine with the light of God within me. I am who I am because of God within me. I am who I am because of God within me. I am because of God within me. I am who I am because of God within me. Everything praises God. Everything praises God. Everything praises God within me. 'Cause God's within me.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Thank you, Lori. Whew, take a deep breath. Just let it settle in with you. We just have a few announcements. Unity Spiritual Center of Woodstock is a prayer ministry. We support people in prayer. If you need prayer, please find our prayer box over here and some forms that you can fill out. Your requests will be prayed over for 30 days, as well as sent to Silent Unity to also be prayed over for 30 days. Be sure to like or subscribe our website or this video so that you can get the latest talks. And look at our upcoming calendar, our unitywoodstock.org at the website to see what events and groups are meeting that might be there to support you as well. And definitely check into our Facebook page. There are ongoing affirmations throughout the week and meditations that will help you move through and possibly even do some of that expanding, that forging new meanings for yourself. We are going to have a short discussion. You are welcome to be here in person or online. And the web or the ID, it will be posted in the feed. It's 248-369-4463. There's no password involved, so you can participate in the discussion. Please come and share your thoughts, your insights, part of your journey. So we're going to go ahead and close out with our prayer for protection. And we'll have our peace song and then just a little musical interlude before we begin our Zoom meeting. So those of you in the sanctuary here during that last musical interlude, you're welcome to go and grab a drink of water or go to the restroom if you need to, okay? All right, let's finish out with our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Amen. Have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. Hope to hear from you at the Zoom. Take care.
And from where we are right here, right now, imagine that we are reaching out to connect with each other as we sing the peace song together.
Feel free to stand if you'd like.
Yes.